Hello, everyone.
And welcome to the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
This is episode 30.
So this is our first May episode, and of course, I'm Hunter.
I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
And apparently I'm Tracy.
Thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and for those who are first-time listeners, welcome aboard.
Now, before we let you know what's coming up on this show, Tracy and I would like to thank everyone who attended Mouse Meets this weekend. Obviously, This is Monday, which is the Monday before Friday when this is supposed to come out, so let's just ruin all things. So anyway, we went to Mouse Meets, which will be last weekend, which was actually yesterday. We got back today. Anyway.
We've been to Mouse Meets and now we're back. Long story short.
And it was we had a really, really good weekend, even if it was very Disney-orientated.
It was. We did get some Universal in there.
Oh, we certainly did.
We did. Yes, we did preach the lessons of Universal. There was an auction that was held at Mouse Meets in aid of the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. We donated an auction item. Well, we donated a few, but we donated one in particular.
Yes.
It was a guest host spot on the podcast. So congratulations to Kimmy Goodwin, who had the winning bid. And she's going to be joining us for an upcoming show, which will include Walk the Walk.
It will, I won't say what it went for. For everyone...
Millions.
For anyone who wants to know what a guest host spot is worth on our podcast, just PM one of us and we'll tell you.
We went for millions of lira. So it's on with the news, and we're going to start with this month in history, which is May, of course.
Bear with Tracy, she's a little bit worse for wear. Get it in there and then people know, God, what's going on with her?
Okay, yes, Saturday night Mouse Meets. I had a little bit of a drink. Let's just leave it at that.
It's now Monday.
I've caught a bug. I'm ill.
Anyway,
I'm not still hungover. I'm ill.
She had the special, the goofy.
I've also been poisoned by half a dozen Krispy Kremes.
Krispy Kremes, yeah. Anyway,
so,
go on then.
Not poisoned, just, Anyway, moving on. This month in history, May. So in late May 1990, Universal Studios Florida began soft openings for the general public. Many of the park's attractions are not yet open at the time and are still under testing.
Can you imagine going to the park when it first opened and nothing being open?
These are nice buildings.
Yeah. What do you do?
These bricks look real.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, though, I bet people looked at things a lot more.
This is
true. That was before the internet,
I think it'd be quite cool, to be honest. To be able to walk around and look at how things are coming on.
Yeah, and not ride any rides ever.
Yeah, but the anticipation.
Spending a fortune and not... Go on, Hunter, sorry.
Sometimes when I go, it's nice to just enjoy the ambiance. Ride one or two things, and then that's it for that day.
That's the difference, though. The rides are there if you feel, I've had enough of this wandering around, I need to go and...
Yeah, but for the fanboys out there, I was there at the beginning.
When nothing worked.
You know what I mean? No, I was there for the soft openings. I think that's pretty cool.
I like theme parks before they had rides.
Yeah, Darren, when was the first time you went? Because you went really early, didn't you?
Yeah, it would have been 93 because I was 10 years old. So, 1993. So
that'll have been after Jaws reopened, was it?
I believe so, and stuff still didn't really work very well then.
3 years
into the opening.
Let's be honest, the stuff still doesn't work that good now.
I never got to ride the King Kong ride. It was broken every time we went.
Yeah.
See, that's a shame. That's something I would have liked to have ridden.
The closest I got was we were about 10 people back in the queue, and it broke down at that point. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate, but...
Yeah, never mind. So May the 2nd, 1991, Back to the Future, the ride, officially opens in the Expo Centre area of the park. In a grand opening ceremony, the ride is considered to be a success, just from the ceremony, and receives positive reception from the theme park critics. So,
woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sad to see it went.
Back to the Future was pretty much like the next big attraction like that after, Star Tours, basically, right?
Mm.
I'm sure it was kind of like the next level.
You like Back to the Future, though, don't you, Darren?
Yeah, it was one of my favorites, especially my favorite the first time we went. And the movie series, that's like my favorite movie series of all time, so even the third one.
Do you not think The Simpsons is better?
No, I do not think The Simpsons is better.
Really?
No, to quantify it, back to the time that it came out in 1991, You know, stuff like that wasn't out at the time. That was like the best simulation ride out there, period. So
you've got to admit, though, the fact that if you sat in the front and if you were taller, you could see every other car.
You didn't have to.
I was 10 years old, so it was perfect for me.
I'm short, and I could see all the cars. That's what put me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you always see things when you're a kid. You see those through different lenses than as an adult. So,
yeah. But do you think The Simpsons has more of a timeless quality, more so than Back to the Future?
Probably, yeah. Just the sheer length that it's been on TV spans a decade. So,
but do you think that's in it? You think if it had maybe done it 5 or 6 years ago, but the fact that it's been on TV for as long as it now has, that possibly it's getting to the end of its longevity.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that getting rid of Back to the Future was a bad idea. They have to switch it up. They don't have the space that Disney has, to build out and around.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to replace what's there, and that it did make sense. They haven't come out with anything new related to it in quite a while. So
I'd just like to come out with something to counter the longevity question. Didn't stop them putting Harry Potter in.
You're
the film's
about the biggest movie franchise and the biggest book franchise in history, though.
At this point, you can equate Harry Potter to things like Star Wars and things like that. In terms of,
I think as far as books go, like Lord of the Rings territory, aren't you?
I want to know we're getting Hunger Games land.
That would be cool.
Only one comes out.
It's all right, you get rid of
20,000 going, only one comes out.
You get rid of Fear Factor Live and put in Hunger Games Live.
No, how about they basically just take the idea from the Jedi Training Academy?
Yeah.
And apply that to the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Are you listening, Universal?
No.
No.
Go on,
anyway, let's move on.
Discussed that enough.
May 1997. The Islands of Adventure Preview Centre opens in the New York area, replacing the Screen Test Home Video Adventure. Now, it's meant to give guests a preview of the upcoming Islands of Adventure Park, as well as expansion of the Studio Park into the Universal Studios Escape Resort.
Darren, did you see that?
I feel like I might have, but it would have been like a sidebar kind of thing to a day at the theme park, so I don't remember for sure, but
I will have to dig out. Somebody posted the video on our Facebook page last year of a walk around it, and it was pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can fish it out and
that's something I would really like to see, like what was planned that didn't actually make the cut and things like that.
Yeah, I'll have to try and fish the video out, and I'll stick it up on the website in the show notes.
Do you know, really, they should just open a soundstage somewhere and put because obviously there'll be previews for Universal Studios as well. It's part of the history. I think they've got empty lots there. Get these open because not everybody rides and people are interested in the history.
Well, Hunter, you know about Disney with the whole Blue Sky cellar that they have out of California. Has he gone again? Right. Oh, so I guess he's buggered off, has he?
Yeah.
Hunter's just dropped out and he's gone.
Well, he hasn't buggered off. He can't help if he drops out.
Right. Well, we'll just crack on and hopefully he'll jump back on, so yeah.
Don't be nasty.
Carry on then.
Right. So moving on then. May the 4th. Hey. 1998. Oh, sorry, wrong part.
Yes, it is.
Twister Ride It Out opens in the New York area, which replaced Ghostbusters Spooktacular.
Oh, sorry, Darren.
Oh.
Did you do Ghostbusters Spooktacular?
Yes, I did, and that is kind of a bummer that that went away because I actually got picked for that show when I was a kid. Got to go on stage and squirt everybody with a squirt gun, so it was pretty cool.
Now, you genuinely like Twister. Do you think it was better than Ghostbusters or not?
Well, no, because it was a live show, so there was more of an element to it. I did like, and I was a huge Ghostbusters fan as a kid. Had the outfit, the proton pack, ran around the house with it, everything.
Oh yeah,
so.
I used to put my backpack on and use a telescope as my. Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I was about 12.
Yeah,
that's how sad I was. But Twister, we don't need to go on. Everybody knows our feelings about it.
Yes,
I'll move on then, shall I? So, moving on to 1999, May 28th, Islands of Adventure opens next door to Universal Studios, Florida.
Woohoo! Oh, you know that little place right next door?
Yeah.
That was known as something else at the time. And for those that want to know anything, go back and listen to our Jim Hill episode the first time we had him. I'm not sure what it was.
Oh.
When did we have Jim on the first time? Around 10 or 11?
Something like that.
And he'd actually let us know what Islands of Adventure was supposed to be before it became what it is today.
Very interesting.
It was.
Yep. So in May 2002, Universal announced that the fantastic world of Hanna-Barbera and Alfred Hitchcock, The Art of Making Movies, would both close in the near future. They confirmed that Hanna-Barbera will be replaced by a Jimmy Neutron adventure ride and Hitchcock by a Shrek 3D show.
Big mistake.
On both counts or just one?
The Hitchcock one.
I would love to have seen that.
It was amazing. That one was actually really cool. That was the most advanced 3D I'd ever seen when I was a kid.
Really?
Because it was the first one where like the stuff would come directly in front of your face like it does in Terminator.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first ride I ever went on where it was like that. So because the birds were flying around, it was literally like all around you. So
cool.
Yeah, it was very cool, and I think that's a bummer because I don't really care too much for the Shrek ride, unfortunately.
No, I agree.
I think it's one of those you do it a few times and then it kind of the first couple of times it's fun, but it's really lost its edge for me. I like the pre-show.
If I remember rightly, when we talked to Seth which is the interview that's coming after this, we talked about Shrek a bit. The pre-show is amazing.
Oh, I love the pre-show.
But yeah, I could do without.
I'd do that and leave.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. I'm going to sit in the seats that don't move next time, I think.
I was going to say, you could just go home and watch the DVD and sit in a safe seat.
Yeah, pretty much.
No whiplash. I shall move on to May 2003. Now, Donkey's Photo Finish opened, which replaced stage 54.
See, we've never seen that either, have we?
No.
I think I've seen it, but not actually, like...
Yeah. And on May 25th, 2004, Revenge of the Mummy the Ride opened, replacing Confrontation. Too much controversy.
When was that, sorry? 2004? That wasn't long before we went for the first time.
No.
Was that 4 months before?
Something like that, yeah. Oh, of the Mummy.
I would have liked to have done Confrontation, though.
Didn't it break down today? The Mummy.
Oh, did it?
Apparently so, yeah. Hunter, we were talking about before we came on air, didn't we? Yeah, apparently it broke down. No one was injured, but yeah, I love the Mummy. We even did it at Halloween Horror Nights. I'm still not really sure why.
I know. Only indoor rides. What were we thinking of?
Yeah, very strange.
Yes.
But it is cool.
Yeah, I got a friend that was terrified of roller coasters to ride that one. We just kind of covered up the signs as we walked by. It was Halloween Horror Nights, and we had a couple of drinks, so so it was pretty easy to make him not even see those signs. And we just told him it was a normal, like simulator ride, and then we got him on there, so that was pretty great.
Right. Right, moving on. May 25th. May 2005, Fear Factor Live opens, replacing the Wild 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 West Stunt Show.
How many wilds?
3.
Wild 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 West Stunt Show.
No, that was 4.
Wild 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 West Stunt Show.
Try and say that while drunk. Oh, hang on a minute.
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, we haven't seen Fear Factor Live.
No, it wasn't. I don't think
it's been on, has it?
Last time we were there, it wasn't open. I know that much. Excuse me. Not that we'd have bothered going seeing it anyway, to be honest, I don't think. Darren, you must have seen it, have you?
Surprisingly, I don't think I have. Maybe when I was I might have done it when I was really young. I don't know for sure, but...
Right.
It sounds familiar, I don't know.
I mean, I like Fear Factor, I like the programme, but I don't know how that translates into a theme park attraction.
No.
Really.
Oh, yeah.
The Wild 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 West Stunt Show. Wonder if that was anything like the one that was in Portaventura.
Possibly, because when we went over there, that was Universal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a really good stunt show.
It was.
One of the best I've ever seen, to be quite honest. I'll have to look into that and see if it was any...
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Because we saw the documentary, didn't we, on which Universal...
Japan somewhere.
And that stunt show was quite similar to the one we saw in Spain. So I wonder.
Yes, yeah, quite probably.
I'll look into that. So May 15th, 2008, the Simpsons ride opens, which replaced Back to the Future, the ride.
Go on, Darren.
So.
Boo.
Yeah, it was a big bummer.
Jason went, way! I like The Simpsons. We've already discussed it. I think The Simpsons ride's brilliant. I still think it's a slow loader.
I don't understand why, really.
It seems like there's only got half the queue open at any time for some reason.
But I have to say, the queue area does have a lot to keep you occupied.
Once you're inside the building.
Yeah, there's lots to look at.
Yeah.
They could have a lot more posters. They could have a lot of fun with posters or interactive screens in that external queue area, to be honest.
Well, now they have put more flat screens in than probably the last time you were there.
All right.
Yeah.
Even in the outside areas, they've got screens going now.
Right, because they didn't when we went last time.
The ramps were just grey concrete, weren't there? There was nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, out there they pretty much explain the handoff between the Future Institute of Technology and Doc Brown and giving it to Krusty to start off Krusty Land.
All right.
So that's pretty neat.
Oh, that's better, yeah. Yeah.
That sounds pretty
Give it a link as well and keep the Back to the Future mentioned there. I like that. So, getting closer to current dates. 2011, May the 19th, Universal confirms Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast will be replaced by a Despicable Me-themed ride with an expected opening in 2012.
I would expect it to open in the next couple of weeks, to be honest.
I've got to say, I met this with great disappointment at the time because I loved Jimmy Neutron. It made me giggle like a kid every time.
Yeah, we know why. Go on.
Yeah. What?
The booby bounce.
The booby bounce. Anyway, you know, and do you know, had we actually seen Despicable Me when this was announced? Don't know whether we had.
No, we went to the pictures to see what we must have done.
Right. I've got to say, though, seeing the pictures of Gru's house and how it's coming on, seeing some of the merchandise that's going to be available, I can't wait.
Have you seen any of the T-shirts and stuff, Darren?
No, I haven't.
There's one that's like my favourite bit from the film is when he's telling the kids that you will not make any noise, you will not sneeze or burp or fart or something. I can't remember what it is now. You will not burp or cry or giggle or fart. And that's just like, I need that. But you can get one that's Gru's suit with the scarf attached onto it as well. It's cool.
I can tell you what, the second we step foot into a Universal park next year, he'll be buying one.
I want the Gru's
3 or 4.
rules. It's brilliant.
Gru's rules is brilliant. I love there's loads. Anyway, yeah, I was going to say there's loads of T-shirts and stuff. I'm sure we'll do something about that when it opens. Anyway, I shall move on to this year, May the 8th, which is tomorrow. No, it was last. Hang on, when's this go out?
Right, we're recording this on Monday the 7th. Tomorrow is the 8th. It goes out on Friday, so it was last Tuesday.
So yes, in the recent past. Which has just fried my brain.
I just told you it is. It's last Tuesday.
So Universal Cinematic Spectacular makes its grand opening, and so does Universal's Superstar Parade. So, there you go.
Which, as Hunt has already announced, we should hear from him on the show, because we are going to phone him. Alright, this is going to fry her again on Wednesday, which is 2 days' time, but as when this goes out, it was 2 days ago.
Way Back to the Future.
What a tenuous link.
So there's been, what would you call it, a soft opening? For a show, it's outside.
A technical. It's not. It's a what is it? It's a technical rehearsal, I think they call it.
So they've had a few of those already.
Yep, and it's been every day since Sunday, I think, up till today, and it officially opens tomorrow.
They've done that with the parade as well.
The parade made a technical rehearsal on Saturday, and there was only done one, as far as I'm aware.
I've got to say, the parade, I'd have a look if it went past, but I don't think I'd stop and.
Oh, I would. I think the Despicable Me float looks brilliant.
I forgot there was a Despicable Me float, yeah.
And the SpongeBob one will be pretty cool.
I know they're trying to do things for the younger kids, but they've got to remember that there's older people as well.
Definitely.
There's not enough for the older ones.
But then from an adult's point of view, we discussed this not that long ago, before we started recording, that like from Darren's point of view, Darren, you said that it would get on your a little bit having
nice.
Like a kiddies parade, but like the way you can use it to your advantage. When that parade's on, it means the queues for the other rides are going to be quite. You've probably got a 3/4 of an hour window where the lines for the rides are going to be a lot less than at any other point during the day.
But I like a parade.
Yeah, but are you going to watch it? We're talking about spending 6 days at Universal when we go over next year. You might watch it twice. That's 4 days.
I know, but I'd like there to be, Minions obviously are relevant to everybody. But
SpongeBob's still cool. I don't care.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
I know it's a contentious
we haven't seen
one.
it. We can't make any judgments on it.
Darren's already
it looks,
made one.
from what I've seen,
it's kids.
It does
I'm not
look
interested.
Good. And they do need to do more for the kids. I do know that.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they don't open the kids area till 11 o'clock. What? I don't understand why that doesn't open when the park does, because let's face it, kids get up early. The parents go into the park. I know people who, by the time the kids area opens at 11 o'clock, their little ones are ready to go back to the hotel for a nap. And quite often they don't come back the rest of that day, so I think there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that will do it for this month in history.
Right.
It is.
All right, thank you for that picture, Lee.
Yeah.
If you'd like to know more, her name is Next Door Nikki.
She doesn't live next door to us.
I thought you might like it. Hunter, the next one. Oh, he's not here, is he? Go on. First one in can take it. Who wants it?
I guess I'll do it.
Go on, then.
Universal Orlando Resort is offering incredible value this spring and summer, plus special new dining experiences that will give guests and their families moments and memories to last a lifetime. The vacation package and the new dining program come just in time for guests to experience all of the new entertainment coming to Universal Orlando in 2012. You'll be able to explore all the exhilarating rides and attractions in both Universal Orlando theme parks with the vacation package starting at $899 per family of 4, tax inclusive. That package includes 4 nights accommodation at a nearby Universal partner hotel, 3-day base ticket to both Universal Orlando theme parks, early admission to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and for a limited time, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, valid for travel through June 30th. Breakfast at the three broomsticks inside the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, 1 per person. Access to live entertainment at Universal City Walk. Free scheduled transportation between the hotel and Universal Orlando Resort.
I've got to jump in there a second, right? Breakfast at the 3 broomsticks inside the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, 1 per person. All right, yeah, go on. I was going to say, what? So people are expecting like 2? Right, I've had 1. I realise what it is. It's for each package, isn't it? It's not every day. It's just 1 breakfast per package per person.
Right.
Because I read that as like, people are going to expect 2 breakfasts every day. But it's not, is it? Yeah. Carry on, Darren.
Okay. All new dining program at Universal Studios Florida. Guests can add 2 new extraordinary dining options to their vacation package, each designed to create memorable experiences for the entire family from day to night. Universal Superstar Character Breakfast starts with a breakfast experience filled with smiles, laughter, and long-lasting memories.
I would rather it was filled with food.
Nope, sorry, none of that. Children of all ages will be joined by some very special friends, the stars from the new Universal Superstar Parade. Guests will be able to share special moments with their favorite characters, such as creating mayhem with the Minions from the blockbuster animated adventure Despicable Me, posing for a photo with Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants, and getting a coveted autograph from Dora and Diego. Later that day, guests will feel like celebrities as they get special VIP viewing access to enjoy Universal Superstar Parade. To cap off the evening, Universal Cinematic Dining Experience offers a unique way to enjoy Universal Cinematic Spectacular. Guests will start off the night with a delicious meal at Lombard's Seafood Grill, located along the picturesque Universal Studios Lagoon. Later that evening, guests will enjoy dessert in an exclusive area at the restaurant's waterfront boardwalk, where the entire family will share a spectacular view of Universal Cinematic Spectacular, featuring some of the best, most inspiring, emotion-filled moments in film history. Universal Superstar Character Breakfast will be held at Café La Bamba and is available for guests to experience starting on June 15th for $26.99 per adult and $10.99 per child. Universal Cinematic Dining Experience begins on June 1st and is available for $44.99 per adult and $12.99 per child. Guests can add both of these amazing experiences to any Universal Orlando package starting today. For more information on that, you can go to Universal Orlando Resorts Vacation Packages website at universalorlando.com.
Also, I've been in touch with Heather from Be Our Guest Destination and said she can later.
Did she?
She can also
she
book those packages, and don't forget that if you book with them before the end of May, you can get that $25 gift card that you mentioned on the last show.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, on top of this, as I said to you before, Darren, we've just found out, because one of our friends tried to book it, that this character breakfast seems to be actually taking over from the Confisco Grill, which they're going to be. We had a bit of a rant on it about 3 or 4 shows ago, and it would appear that they're scrapping that one altogether and pushing everyone into the studios, which I think I can understand why they're doing it, but I don't think it's a particularly good idea.
Right.
What it also doesn't state, and we're still not 100%, and I will look into it this week, whether those can be booked separately, because it says they can be added to a package.
Right.
It says both of these experiences can be added to any Universal Orlando vacation package. So
I'm sure you'd be able to book it separate, because they probably want to get stragglers, that are just in the park and didn't know about it previously. I'm sure they're glad to take their money to fill out the space. So
no, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere last week that they were saying that not so much the character breakfast, but I'm pretty sure the cinematic spectacular dining thing is going to be a package only deal, or at least for the foreseeable future. Like I say, I'll look into it this week, but there's been quite a bit of conversation going back and forwards on Twitter between a few people, and people aren't quite sure. So, which I think they're missing a trick if they do. I don't understand why you would limit it just to people booking a package, because let's be honest, it's not like Disney. How many people do actually book a Universal package?
Yeah.
Right.
So if you died on us, Tracy, are you done for the night?
No, I'm alright.
But
I'm hanging in there.
I'm trying to think how much. $26.99 for an adult, so that's what, 54 plus 2 kids. 11, 22, 70. No, that's not bad. It's about comparable to Confisco, so it's not expensive. What about the Darren? Have you ever eaten in Lombards?
No, I have not. I'm not very adventurous at the theme park, so I usually just go for like a burger somewhere.
$44.99 for adults and $12.99 for a kid. That's quite expensive. I wonder where the seating will be.
Lombards is, like, I believe, a second-level restaurant. I think it's on top of something else, so...
Isn't it on top of Richter's Burger Company?
I don't think it's on top of Richter. I think it's right next to it, though. Like, on a building right next to Richter.
So you think it could be upstairs, then, looking out over the lagoon?
Yeah. In which case, that would make a little bit of sense there.
That would be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, you're not worrying about anybody. They're not roping an area off and restricting other people's views and giving you a better view out. Yeah, that would work. That's going to be very limited then, isn't it?
Yeah, because I can't imagine it's very big. From the outside, it looks small.
Yeah, but that'd be quite cool. Yeah. If anyone books it and is going on it, let us know.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what people make of it. But that doesn't start, what? Is that both of them starting on June the 15th, or just... Oh, no, the character breakfast starts June 15th. The cinematic dining experience begins on June 1st.
Yeah.
Cool, so yeah, let us know. I'm actually taking over one of Tracy's here, seeing as though she had a big long one at the moment. You haven't done it for a while, have you? But,
pardon me.
Velvet Sessions will carry on again in May.
Yes.
As it always does, it'll be the last Thursday in May, which is the 30th this month. And Hunter's not here, is he? Which is such a shame. It's going to be Starship performing at the Hard Rock Hotel. Now, I only know one of their songs, and that's Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now, which I'm sure was probably the only one that anybody else knows as well.
Quite possibly.
Darren, name me another
built,
Starship.
We Built This City.
Oh, was that them?
It's Starship, right?
They did do Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now.
Yeah, Starship, we built the city.
Did they do Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now, yeah?
What's this, so?
No, I wrote that.
Oh, okay.
They did do that, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, well, I do know 2 songs, so... But anyway, as I said, yeah, it'll be on May the 30th, the Thursday night. It is a 21 and older event, so... Sorry, Hunter. He'd be gutted. I'm quite disappointed he's not here because he always likes them. Yeah. And tickets are $29 online and $35 at the door, or you can purchase the VIP ticket for $50, and that includes free special drinks, finger foods, and warm-up tunes starting at 6:30 and cash bars from showtime onward. And you can head over to velvetsessions.com for more information and to purchase your tickets.
Mm-hmm. Great. Sounds good.
Starship, yeah. At least it's finally a band we've really heard of.
Finally. We've heard of a few.
Nothing particularly big though, have we really?
ZZ Top.
That was bloody You Need to Go Back to Sleep, dear. That's the bloody summer series.
Whatever. Oh, it's still music. Shut up. Move on.
Go on, Darren.
Okay. Oh, I got another long one here. I got to put on my news reporter hat here. Nearly 2 years after opening the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Universal Orlando is still riding the boy wizard's broom. We continue to be very bullish about Orlando, where you've got Harry Potter over a year old and doing great. Steve Burke, Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Executive Officer of Comcast NBC Universal Media Unit, said during a conference call with investment analysts. I almost said it, yeah. Revenue from the NBC Universal theme parks, which also includes licensing fees from overseas parks in Japan and Singapore, rose 5.7% for the quarter to $412 million compared with a year earlier. Operating costs were essentially the same as a year ago at $255 million for the quarter. Okay, so yeah, they're making money, right?
Yeah.
Operating cash flow for the parks unit, a measure of profitability, jumped 17.1% to $157 million. We will continue to have healthy attendance in both Orlando and Hollywood as both parks benefit from strong growth in international visitors, Comcast Chief Financial Officer Michael Angelakis added during the conference call. They're talking specifically about Lee and Tracy, of course. Universal Orlando no longer reports precise attendance figures now that it's wholly owned by NBC Universal, which last year bought out a stake in the resort held by the private equity firm Blackstone Group, which coincidentally owns the company that I work for, so the Blackstone Group is awesome. Thumbs up to them.
Yeah. Just more facts and figures, isn't it?
We don't get a discount anymore.
Did you used to before?
Yeah, we used to get a discount because we were both owned by Blackstone.
Hang on, Darren. Do you get a discount at Busch Gardens now because of where you work then? Because don't they own Blackstone?
Yeah, but they don't make... the discount's not nearly as good as just the Florida resident discount is.
Right.
It makes no sense. So, and you can't use the Florida resident discount with the employee discount. So it's only good for out-of-state employees, basically.
Excuse me, hang on. Let me have a look through these figures. I'm
only paying $10 a month.
That's nothing. That's unreal. That
Gardens, yeah.
But anyway, it's good to see. But you can see now why they want to push through this expansion of Harry Potter. That even 2 years down the line, they're still reaping the benefits of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
But it remains to be seen whether they're being a bit overzealous with it by putting 2 lots in, but we shall see.
Okay, well, that's the news. On with the show.
For the segment this episode, we've invited a guest onto the show. Now, anyone who knows anything about Universal Orlando will know who this person is. So before we get into it, we'd like to welcome Seth Kubersky. Hi, Seth. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Good. Pleasure to have you on.
Awesome. So we've invited Seth on to talk about a specific subject this time, but before we get on to that subject, Seth, would you like to let everyone know your background and history leading up to your current venture?
Sure. Well, I started out as a very lowly Universal employee back in 1996, coming out of the College of William & Mary in Virginia with a theater degree, and worked on shows like the Ghostbusters, Terminator, and Barney show there. Went on to be a supervisor in the entertainment production department, working on things like Halloween haunted houses, Mardi Gras parades, special events. And now I write about the parks. I have a column every week in the Orlando Weekly newspaper where I talk about local attractions. And I have a series of books out with the Intrepid Traveler Publishing, and my publisher and co-writer Kelly Monahan, latest edition of Universal Orlando 2012, The Ultimate Guide to the Ultimate Theme Park, on bookshelves right now.
And it certainly is the ultimate guide, I'll give it that.
It really is, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes, talk about in-depth. So anyway, let's say we approached Seth actually last year, and I'm going to hang my head in shame because it's taken us that long to get this organ. Sorry, it's taken me
You get busy with the holidays, I understand. I don't take it personally.
Good.
To come on and discuss his book. Now, he kindly sent Tracy and I a copy. So Tracy and I both read it. Obviously, Hunter, you haven't.
I'm very glad that Customs allowed it into the country.
Yes. Hunter, I'm assuming you would be aware of the book, being the Universal fan that you are.
I'm well aware of the book, yes.
Good. So, basically, Seth, you want to start off what? Sorry, go on.
No, he said that very sinisterly. You know.
That's just Hunter. That's just Hunter. Yeah, there you go.
I am aware of your book, Mr. Seth. My fire pits quite enjoyed it.
I'm glad it was useful for something.
No, I'm well aware, and I've heard very good things about it, actually.
It is amazing. We'll get on to that. But basically, Seth, tell us how, what made you want to get into writing guidebooks from being an employee?
My very first writing about theme parks was online. I started as a commentator on Jim Hill's blog.
A good friend of the show, Jim.
Yeah, jimhillmedia.com. Great website for all sorts of rumors, speculation, and history on the parks. And I started as a contributor there. And through Jim Hill, I met Kelly Monahan and began contributing to the Intrepid Traveler books. And I always enjoyed telling my friends and family when they would come to visit, taking them through the parks and giving them inside details about the parks, and wanted to put that in a more permanent format. So I guess that's how I got into writing.
Good enough reason for me.
It is, because there isn't, there's Disney guidebooks all over the place and resources for Disney everywhere. That's kind of why we decided to do this, because there's very little Universal out there.
Comparatively, Universal is a lot younger. It doesn't have the, 40 plus, or counting Disneyland, almost 60 years of backstory of history. And it's not as large in scope when you compare the Orlando properties. So it's natural that there'd be a lot more material out there about Disney. But Kelly saw an opportunity for a guidebook dedicated to Universal that would fill that niche, and I've been really happy to work with him on developing it over the years.
How have you found the sales of the book? Has it just to try and judge the sort of
audience?
Yeah.
We've had to go to a second printing of this year's edition already because it's selling well. The 2011 edition, that was the first year with the Harry Potter, sold very well. Harry Potter gave a huge boost to the whole Universal industry. And with the economy still being slow, that's tapered off slightly. But more Harry Potter on the horizon. So hopefully that'll give another boost in a year or two.
And that's not counting digital downloads for like the Kindle market and everything like that.
Sure,
right?
Yeah. We're available through Amazon eBooks, on Kindle, and if you're not interested in the entire book, we have separate, smaller ebooks just focusing on the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, or specific elements of the book. So all of that is available to take with you on whatever format you're interested in.
That's brilliant.
It is. How many editions have you done so far, Seth?
I've been working on the book since the 2005 edition. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm working on the 2013 edition right now. So yeah, it's going to be a decade pretty soon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So getting into the production of the book, how much research would you say it would take you to produce, say, that copy we've got there?
Oh, well, we don't rewrite the book from scratch every year.
Just update.
We go through, I would say the majority of the work is simply being in the park. I visit Universal an average of 3 times a week.
Uh-huh. Not jealous at all.
and a lot of that, a lot of those visits are, I have the premium annual pass that lets me valet park. Mm-hmm. So park my car, take a swift walk through City Walk, glance around at the stores, see if anything looks new, and then take a lap around each of the parks, noting wait times, looking what the crowds are like, seeing, if a store is under rehab or, riding a 3 or 4 rides each trip, just to see if effects are working. So I'll be at the parks for 2 or 3 hours, maybe 3 times a week, 2-3 times a week. So it adds up. But that's the majority of the research. And then before the book goes to press, there's a very intense period of 2 weeks or so where I'm basically spending 40 to 50 hours a week, focusing on making sure that all the text is updated, every single price, every $sign, every time, every phone number is fact checked. And that's, that's tedious, but that's important to make sure that the book is as accurate as it can be. Now, unfortunately, it's the nature of publishing that the second you hit your deadline and you have to turn it over to the printer, they're going to change something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But that's why we have the internet to keep things updated the year.
I was actually going to say that it's literally as soon as it's out in print, the Universal will go, well, you only have to look at that one, and then they go and announce, obviously, Jaws closing.
Yeah.
And
that was a tough one because, just after the book hit the shelves, they announced the closing of the Jaws ride. So we actually have a guidebook called After Disney, The Other Orlando. And that includes excerpts from the Universal book and our book about SeaWorld, and also information on all the other parks in the area. And that was updated several months after the Universal Orlando book. So we have a whole chapter in there explaining about the closure of Jaws and the rumors about what is going to replace it.
Actually, I'm going to ask while you're there, Seth, how did you feel about Jaws closing?
That was a really emotional moment for me. Jaws was one of those rides that when I was an employee, I would take my lunch break and I would ride Jaws, I would ride Confrontation, or I would ride Back to the Future every day. And so those are all gone now.
Yeah, all the 3 classics that aren't there anymore.
We're never going to see the likes of Jaws. No. The trend today is for high-tech video projections, screens, interactive, computer-generated things, which is great. I enjoy that stuff. But the idea of all of these physical sets, physical props, the use of water on such a big scale, the use of giant animatronics, it was finicky, it broke down easily, and if you got a skipper who was not enthusiastic, it could be very cheesy. But when it worked, there's nothing quite like Jaws. And infinitely re-rideable. Every time you went on, had a slightly different experience. And there's, they can program in all the different variations on Star Tours that they want. But it's still not a unique physical sensory experience each way the way Jaws was.
I mean, we took our kids the last time we came over in 2009, and there'd been Rim was 10, Jade was 5, and they absolutely adored it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the things that people say is, well, it's not relevant anymore because the film's 20, 25 years old or
classic.
Whatever it is, and it doesn't need to be a relevant film for it to be a good ride.
No, not at all. And I think that's a lesson that Disney learned. Though if you think about it, the classic Disney rides were not based around a film franchise. at the time, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Haunted Mansion, a lot of their, enduring rides weren't tied to whatever the popular, hit in the box office was at the time. But even having said that, Universal is the only theme park that I can think of that in just 20 years has completely turned over, every attraction. There's nothing left from the opening years that you would recognize. So it's hard for them to develop the traditions of, I went on this ride and I'm going to bring my kid to ride this ride and he's going to bring his kid. You can't do that if, every 15 years there's a complete turnover.
But then I suppose that's the nature of it being based around films, that it's always going to feel dated if it's not updated regularly. That's true. I mean, that's the deal that Universal has struck, that they are aiming for a crowd that values relevance and currency over tradition and nostalgia.
So, Seth, when Jaws closed, I heard a lot of people liken it to when Disney closed, say, something like Horizons or Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah.
Would you see the similarities with that?
I do. I think that Disney kind of mishandled the Mr. Toad closure, and they learned from that in the future about how to manipulate their fan base. Universal hasn't quite learned that lesson. I thought the actual closing day of Jaws was not handled with the respect that it could have. There was no real ceremony. There was a very brief moment when they closed the doors for the last time. I was the last person allowed through the express line.
Wow.
Ever. I was not the last they auctioned off, not auctioned off, but by a secret and unknown process handed out tickets to ride on the very last boat. And I did not find out about that process until too late. So I was the last, the general public on the ride.
I think they underestimated that the fan base that Universal does actually have.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think that there was an opportunity there to auction off tickets for charity, to, sell, something to donate to a worthy cause, to get publicity. They actually told the local media that they didn't want coverage, that they didn't want news crews. And I can't imagine that, Disney ever turning down free publicity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Universal has a much less practiced at manipulating the social media world, and that's really, it's ironic that they announced the closure of Jaws on Facebook, but they didn't really leverage that audience in any kind of meaningful way. Yeah. I was a couple weeks before the official closing day. I went to the park with a group of former skippers who had opened the
Can I ask you a quick? Can I jump in a second? Was there please. A guy called Josh Ash on that boat with you? Do you know?
There quite possibly could have been. I am friends with the guy who organized it, whose name is Tom Kroom.
Yeah,
yes.
We did a whole Jaws show.
Okay,
and
so
we
you know this whole story.
Yes.
Yeah, if you search on YouTube, I took a video
cool.
that's on there of that ride, and that was a really, really great experience. But if I was the king of Universal, I would have thrown out the red carpet for those guys and filmed it and gotten it on the 10 o'clock news.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And they were almost, the few employees who were there almost, felt like they had to do it under the radar because upper management just wanted the whole thing to go away, and that's a shame.
We talked to Josh as part of our Jaws celebration show, didn't we? And I mean, I don't get it. I mean, that every one of those guys felt so privileged to have worked that attraction at some point. And
I mean, the only other thing that's out there like it is the Jungle Cruise that you can compare it to that forms that kind of camaraderie among the cast members.
Yeah.
I'm really excited having, seen the supposed plans for what's going in to replace it. I'm sorry to see Jaws go, but I don't think I'll be unhappy with the replacement.
We'll get onto that at some point. So I need to go back onto the book. Right? So I just want to complete.
Buy the book. Visit my website, SethKubersky.com. That's SethKubersky.com. And you can purchase the book.
But yeah, I say we and Tracy, we've had a read through it, and one of the things that really jumped out was the section you're talking about, port of entry, and it's something that's quite close to us at the moment because we've been talking about it a lot lately. The port of entry is one of those areas in the park that's really underappreciated and that nobody really takes much notice of it. And you've devoted quite a decent bit in the book to it.
Yeah, I remember. When I was working for Universal back just before the preview center opened for Islands of Adventure, this would have been maybe late 1997 or early 1998, and first going into a room and seeing a model of what the lighthouse tower and the port of entry area would look like, and thinking, there's nothing else like this in Orlando. There's, this scale and this detail, people always say, oh, Universal doesn't have the theming that Disney, and this was completely proving it wrong. And then seeing it come to life. I love walking through there and pointing out all the little Easter eggs, hidden details in the port of entry area.
We actually had a listener, didn't we? Brian Turner.
Yeah.
Went round Islands of Adventure a few weeks ago and he sent us a video of him commentating on all those little Easter eggs around port of entry, and it's to be honest, even when we've been over, it's something it's just right, it's
a corridor, isn't it?
Blinkers on, I need to get to that lagoon and decide which way I'm going to go. But the one of the bits you mentioned about was the music, and it's funny that the reason we picked up on that, we actually interviewed William Kidd. How long ago was that? Now I'm going to date it. The guy who composed a lot of the music,
Yes. It's a shame they don't sell the soundtrack CD anymore in the park.
That's what I'm saying.
So glad I've got a copy of it. But he explained, like you said in there, how the music blends, and he explained it all to us, how the process that he went through.
Fascinating.
And he's such a great guy. I'm so privileged to have him on.
It's really fascinating because it's not just a single loop like you'll find on Main Street USA, but it's a series of sections that build as you move from the entrance towards the water, and the way that the beats, the rhythm matches up, and they all integrate is really fascinating. And then as you move around the park, and it continues, we lost my favorite little musical bit, which was crossing from Jurassic Park to the Old Lost Continent, where there was this jingling chime sound. And that's gone with the Harry Potter music.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of little transitions and all around the park, but especially in port of entry, that really cleverly layering.
Because he explained us that the way that he composed the music, that is obviously at some point you could be stood in one area with a piece of music playing, but then the chance of it bleeding over from the section beforehand. Mm-hmm. But it still it doesn't sound like it's a different piece. It blends in, so it doesn't matter where you are. If you can hear something from another section, it just sounds like it's part of the track that you're hearing.
Yeah, so it took a lot of work to get that all lined up.
Yes, he said it actually made him quite ill.
Yes, bless him.
There was another bit in the book, actually, that I didn't actually know. Me and Tracy were discussing it last night, the dining pass.
It's one of those little-known things that they do not advertise in any way. But if you ask at guest services, if you just want to go in and eat, it usually just used at Mythos, occasionally Lombard's Landing. But in theory, you could use it for any of the restaurants. You give them a deposit equal to the price of a ticket, and as long as you get out within a certain time period, I don't recall off the top of my head how many hours they give you, then you don't have to pay to enter the park. You still have to pay for parking.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, make a detour to the Hulk because not only might you lose your lunch, but if you stay too long, you might lose your money.
Yes.
But yeah, it's one of those little unadvertised inside things.
I think that's a good idea, for special occasion or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's brilliant.
I really, one of my favorite things to do at Universal is to go in and not even ride a ride. My wife isn't a huge fan of riding rides, but she loves to come with me and park hop or hotel hop and go to the bars and restaurants, because there's really some great dining options all within a walking distance of each other.
Yeah.
There is. It's funny. I don't understand why that's something that they don't advertise, because a lot of people might think, I'd like to visit Confisco Grill or Mythos. Mythos has such a good reputation that a lot of people might not want to go to Universal, but might take the opportunity just to be able to go and eat a meal there.
Yeah, I think that they're probably afraid that if they make too big a deal out of it, that people would try to abuse it. But it's one of those things that if you know to ask for, it's available. It's kind of like the castle tour at Hogwarts,
yes.
At Forbidden Journey ride. Though I'm really sorry to report that they've recently changed the operations of that, and when it gets busy, they close off the castle tour, which I find illogical, since the purpose of it is to keep the line moving. Yeah. With the people who aren't interested in riding, even on the days when it is busy. But I don't know if it's a staffing issue or if it's just a confusion of the way it's supposed to operate. But lately on peak days, they've been shutting off the castle tour, which is a real shame.
There has been.
Now, Seth, I've heard that an idea that I was tossing around for a while was that eventually the castle tour is going to become the express line.
You were just going to bring... I was going to bring that up.
Absolutely. It was originally designed to be an express line, but operationally, I think just like Rip Ride Rocket, they decided, at least for the first couple of years, as long as there's still a substantial standby line, they don't want to impact the normal guests that badly by trying to use the express line. Yeah. But it was, it works really well. The castle tour, it works really well, even when it gets busy, as a way for people to be able to experience the queue without having to wait in the full line. And then you transfer over to the single rider line, you get 90% of the experience for 20% of the wait. But for whatever reason, they've stopped using it recently, and I tell my friends, go stop by guest services, do what I do, and respectfully ask them to keep the castle tour open. I think eventually, someday, what has to happen is that the locker system needs to be rebuilt outside of the castle. I think that the problem, the ride itself, pulls people through at an astounding rate. The problem isn't the ride. The problem is the locker system.
The locker system really needs
I would say not necessarily even just for Forbidden Journey. To be honest, the locker system in both of the parks is quite bad. I know from reading the book you mentioned about the free lockers, or the supposedly free lockers for a show. We've been stung on. Men in Black was the one that got us every time we did it. I ended up having to pay at least $2 to get our stuff out, and I don't actually know what the time length is here. I thought it was an hour, but apparently not.
It is supposed to. The time length is supposed to be adjusted based on the reported wait time for the ride when you get in. Now, if for whatever reason they haven't updated the wait time of the ride, or the ride breaks down, they're supposed to adjust. If you ever, you put in the locker, you get on the ride, you get off the ride, and you go back to the locker, and it's telling you owe money, you can always flag down a cast member, an employee, and they will be able to retrieve that for you for free, because that's not supposed to happen. But it can be a pain, it can certainly be a pain in the neck. I wish, Men in Black originally did not require lockers. Originally there was a bag.
Yeah.
And I guess something must have flown off too many times, and they decide. I'm sure they don't institute the locker policy capriciously. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. But Disney I can't think of any ride at Disney where you're required to use a locker like that. And I wish they would engineer the rides at Universal to not require them either.
Sorry, go on.
I know it isn't practical with people when they have children, but me personally, I go to the park with as little as possible.
Yeah.
I have my pass, I have a credit card, I have a few dollars in cash, and I usually don't even have my car keys because the valet has it. Travel light and wear cargo pants. That's my advice.
Cargo pants are a lifesaver.
Until we know you've lost stuff in that park, haven't you?
I've lost stuff on Forbidden Journey, yes. The infamous Forbidden Journey stealing stuff.
When the ride that picks you up and shakes you till all the spare change comes out of your pockets.
It's Universal's way of making a dime. I dropped a couple credit cards down there,
Cool, what were you going to say?
Now, I just want to go slightly off topic, just slightly off the book. Now, I read in the front of the book, and you've mentioned that you worked on Barney.
Oh, God.
I want to know, are you the person responsible for Barney's echo tunnel?
No.
Hello?
Oh, you're gone again.
All right, I lost you. My wife called in.
All right.
Trust me, you wanted to lose us real quick.
I'm sorry. Where can you pick it up from?
Go on, Tracy.
Did you hear my question at all?
I did not. Let's repeat the question.
You might regret asking that question again.
Or pick a different question.
No, I want to ask this question. It's very pertinent.
It's a
tongue-in-cheek one.
Podcast.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So I read in the front of your book, and you've mentioned at the beginning of this interview that you worked on Barney. Are you? Yes. Are you the person responsible for Barney's echo tunnel?
I am not responsible for anything where Barney is concerned. I was responsible for sitting in a booth and pressing a little green button and helping sweep up leaves and confetti. It was not. It was a very nice group of people. But it was really difficult listening to "I Love You, You Love Me" 7 shows a day, day after day. I've had psychotherapy to remove those memories, so I appreciate you bringing it back up. I'm going to have to go back.
We do a segment on the podcast called Walk the Walk, and it's our walk. We go area by area and talk about the rides and the attractions and the restaurants and the shops and stuff. And we
I couldn't resist it.
Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone about 3 or 4 ago, and it just degenerated into total smut.
Going on Universal's own words.
It
was disgusting.
Full of double entendres. It was horrendous.
It was very funny.
We also found out Super D Duper is a trademark.
You can
Super TM?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's just cost a pair of you 25 cents each.
They can come sue me.
But just trying to get back on to being serious a bit. For the book, Seth, have Universal been... I don't know what the word I want to use is. Have they been helpful at all, or have you done this all without their help, or have they been...
They do not cooperate or vet the book in any way. I will say that Lowe's Hotels was very generous to let me come and check out their hotels for a couple nights. But other than that, I pay for my own admission. When I go in, I don't tell them that I'm coming, and I don't think they know who I am. I'm sure that some of the people in their PR department know who I am through the newspaper, because I do get invited to cover events at the park for the newspaper and for our blog. But in terms of the research for the book, that's done independently, and they don't get any kind of say over what goes in there.
Now let's get back onto something that we stopped talking about because I'm quite interested. I actually heard most of this when you were on Coaster Radio not that long ago.
Oh, sure.
EB and the how shall we put it?
Carefully, by the sounds of things.
The rumour that's out there that Universal haven't denied and haven't really said it is, but everyone seems to know that what's coming. The whole Gringotts thing.
Yes.
Yes.
And disclaimers: your mileage may vary, not valid in the state of Kentucky. It's all speculation. Though Robert Niles, a theme park insider, had some very, very convincing supplementary materials that if it's not accurate, it's a brilliantly done fake. So let's and Robert doesn't usually deal in fakes. So let's leave it at that and just say that the idea of a London-themed Harry Potter expansion taking over where Jaws was, which has been bulldozed now, and featuring an indoor dark ride that mixes the indoor roller coaster of the Mummy with 3D projections of Spider-Man through the Gringotts Bank.
It sounds absolutely stunning. That's what I read about it and what you talked on Mike and EB about.
Yeah, it's really fascinating because the very first article I ever wrote about Harry Potter coming to Universal back in early 2007. I talked about a patent that I found that Universal and Scott Trowbridge, who used to be their head designer before he went over to Disney Imagineering, had filed this patent for this brilliant new ride system, which was a roller coaster track that could turn into a motion simulator turntable in a video projection dome and then transition back to a traditional gravity roller coaster, and thinking, boy, this would make a perfect use for that Gringotts scene in the first Harry Potter movie. And then now, years later, it looks like that kind of technology is exactly what it looks like they're talking about using in this new attraction.
Now, I know something that you brought up on that as well, and something that wasn't in the plans, but there was no mention of 3D glasses in it, was there?
No mention of 3D glasses in the Theme Park Insider article. I don't recall. The rumors that I've heard have said that they will go with 3D on this, but I can't confirm anything until it actually happens. Yeah. I think that with the success of the new Spider-Man ride, the upgraded 3D projections in that, and the new Transformers ride that's running right now in California, that they're going to want to use that technology in the Studios park, because that's the park that doesn't have it yet.
It seems to be a bit of a complaint now that what they've done to Spider-Man makes the Forbidden Journey not look as good as it was.
The screens are very blurry in comparison.
It all depends on which dome you get. The way that Forbidden Journey works. Spoiler alert.
We haven't written it yet.
Well, close your ears.
Okay.
There's a carousel. So each time that you come to a screen that appears to be a stationary dome, you're actually moving around a giant circle with one of a number of projection surfaces, which is how it seems like you're the only one there when you've actually got cars 7 seconds in front of you and behind you.
Right.
So sometimes you'll get a dome with a very perfectly clear and bright image, and sometimes you'll get one that looks like they smeared Vaseline over the lens.
Yeah.
But even the best of them just don't have the sharpness or the contrast or the vividness of these new projectors in Spider-Man. So I'm very hopeful that will migrate over. But I would say that unless they can change them out at night, they're not going to want to take that attraction down for any length of time, at least until after the summer crowds.
Because obviously the introduction to Despicable Me using the same projectors as well is going to...
Yes, absolutely.
Ramp it up a bit as well.
Yeah.
You know, Lee, what I was thinking about, you remember when Despicable Me was the big rumor?
Yeah.
And it was just everywhere, like it was out in the open from the get-go.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you think that's pretty much what's going to go on with, Diagon Alley in London in general?
Everybody seems to know. We've talked about it enough on the show that whenever anybody mentions anything about what's replacing Jaws, everyone it's just going to be Harry Potter. Although I do know somebody who hosts a British Disney podcast who told me, well, it's going to be Transformers. It's obvious, which I'm going to rib him about when I see him next weekend.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Transformers in Orlando until they finally decide to sever ties with Marvel and replace Spider-Man. And I don't see that happening for a number of years now that they've just invested in projection equipment there.
And with the way the new updated Spider-Man is doing, it's still quite the crowd pleaser.
Absolutely. I've been surprised how the attendance at that ride has perked up to the point where it almost equals Forbidden Journey.
I've actually seen it surpass Forbidden Journey.
Yeah, it's really breathed new life into that attraction.
But it is amazing. It's like nothing else I've ever ridden. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I had been on Spider-Man so many times that it had lost its impact for me.
Yeah.
And now it feels fresh again. I'm sure another, 50 or 100 rides and I'll be back to being bored. But yeah, I especially love the little details that have been inserted. Have you found all 3 locations where Stan Lee is hiding in the ride?
I have.
We haven't been on it yet.
I haven't been on that one either. No.
You're talking to the local here.
Yeah.
You don't go that often, though.
The first one and the last one were easy, but that middle one was tough to see the first few times.
Yeah, I know which one you're referring to.
No spoilers.
Good.
Yeah, good.
I mean, we took the kids when we went last time. We took the kids on it, and our old's like a massive Spider-Man fan, and I built it up so much. And we went on it, and I can't remember what his reaction was, but having ridden it, we've ridden it quite a few times, and in the times we've been over, I was quite disappointed because it was at that point where the projections were very, very blurry, and it detracted from the whole experience.
Yeah, the film technology, it was really amazing when they first built it that they created these, negative atmospheric pressure rooms to blow dust out to keep the film prints pristine, but still it was celluloid and it degrades.
Yeah.
And hopefully this new digital projection, as long as they change the bulbs on time, hopefully it will be a big improvement.
Did you say you had a question?
I do. I'm just waiting for the right time to interject.
No, go on ahead.
Just to do with the actual book, Seth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
To get back on topic.
That's what we're here to talk about.
Exactly. Do you have a section that is your favourite section to work on?
Oh, gee, I can tell you my least favorite section to work on is the introduction. The introduction with all of the prices, because it's prices and phone numbers, and every year, inevitably, as soon as I think I'm done, there's a price change.
Yeah.
So that's my least favorite. My favorite section to work on was the Wizarding World chapter, because that's one section that I wrote completely from scratch. It was a brand new thing, and the experience of being there during the soft open, being there from the very first day that they allowed normal guests into the Wizarding World, getting to ride the ride the first time. And, from then till the day that chapter was due to the printer was about, 14 days, maybe 20 days. So it was an extremely intense period of trying to experience as much of the Wizarding World as quickly as possible. So that was finished just about the time that it officially opened. And then doing last minute updates as they were changing things day by day, adjusting to the early crowds those first few weeks. So that was really exciting to work on.
Excellent.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Wizarding World now compared to how it opened? Because there has been some things that have either come and come and gone, or just some of the effects aren't working like how they used to, or some things are missing?
Yeah, it changes day by day. I ride the Forbidden Journey at least once a week. And some days I'll have a really great ride and all the effects are working. And some days I'm like, is the dragon asleep? Or
the Dementor doesn't do his thing.
Exactly. I've been seeing my face projected on the Dementor's kiss about 50% of the time lately. Yeah. And so, I'm frustrated that they haven't learned more quickly from their mistakes operationally, the way crowd flows through the area. They've gotten better, and each time that there's a peak season, things improve a little bit more. But it was really rough, those first few peak months when, they were shutting off the area. They were handing out return tickets. There was lines, through the park. We don't have that anymore. That's good. That's gotten better. I'm looking forward to when they build the expansion to fixing a lot of their operational issues, like the wand shop having multiple wand keepers at the same time to keep people moving through, to having a restaurant that looks absolutely huge from the plans, to be able to have a place for people to wait indoors without just standing in a queue outside. So they're getting better. I wish that certain things got better more quickly, but on the whole, I think they're heading in the right direction.
A quick question going on the back of that then, Seth, right? What do you believe the rumour of using the Hogwarts Express going between the two parks?
I think that it is brilliant and inevitable, but it will have to be accompanied by a complete change in the way admission is handled.
Yeah.
They would have to switch to some sort of RFID ticket, because you can't, the system that they're using now with these fingerprint scanners, if they have to do that for every person who gets on the ride or gets off the ride, they'll lose their mind. They should go over to Disneyland and see the operation of the monorail there, which lets you go in and out of the park, and realize that it's, it takes staffing to support that. And I hope that they're anticipating that. I'm curious to see whether it's a one-way journey, it's a round trip, or are there two different experiences depending on which station you enter on? Is it you can only enter on one side and exit only on the other? And if so, how do they handle when one side is full and the other has excess capacity? I have no idea. But from what I've seen, the last time I was backstage, it does look like they are clearing land to build some sort of elevated transportation system. They're not going to remove the backstage roads because they still need traffic there, but I think it'll be some sort of, I don't know if a monorail or gondola, some kind of elevated track system.
It's certainly very interesting. I mean, we've discussed it quite a bit on the podcast. That it's, if they don't handle it wrong, if they don't handle it right, it could be an absolute disaster. Oh yeah. I mean, imagine, when the monorail at Disney World gets backed up, between the TTC and the Magic Kingdom, at least they have a riverboat to take people across the water. Or what is going to happen when this ride shuts down, or what happens when someone buys a one-park ticket and then they get to the front of the line and have to explain to their kid, we can't go on this ride because we didn't buy the right ticket. So maybe the one-park option will go away entirely. That would solve the problem, but I don't know how then they compete in the market.
You remember, Lee, I actually told you at one point that if a family only has one day to visit the parks, they're still going to be visiting Islands of Adventure, though. Because they do want to see Hogsmeade and Hogwarts Castle and everything.
But if that Gringotts ride is going to be as good as it sounds, I'm not so sure. I think discussing it how we discussed it before, yes, but then hearing the ins and outs of that coaster, I think you'd be hard-pressed to choose between the two. The fact that you'd still be able to do Ollivanders as well, it would be a hard choice.
But it's definitely going to be like the deciding factor between, do I get a 1 day or a 2 day pass, or depending on whatever options Universal has available.
Well, I think when you combine this investment with the rumors that I've heard about a water park, Wet and Wild, moving onto Universal property, possibly another hotel, that's been on the drawing board for years. Their goal is to not have people choose between which park I go to. It's to get them to buy a 2 or 3 or 4 day ticket, and to capture, they're really trying to capture more days away from people's Disney vacation, and so that people, see staying on site or near Universal for a couple days as an option, as opposed to staying over by Disney and just taking a day trip over towards Universal.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we talked about it on the last show that they've just released information about the new ticket package with it was 2 day and get a 3rd day free.
Oh yes.
Oh, is that just a UK thing, or is that?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, no, that was a Florida... Sorry, that's a Florida resident one.
Oh, the Florida resident one. Yes. Okay, yes, I saw that. Yeah, they frequently, between the Mardi Gras promotions and the summer concert promotions, Universal does a really good job for their size of appealing to the annual pass holder and Florida resident market. In fact, I feel like as an annual pass holder, I'm treated better in Disneyland than I am in Walt Disney World.
I have heard that.
I'm treated better at Universal than I'm at Disney World as well.
Brilliant. Yeah. Right, I think we'll wrap this up, because I think we could all talk for hours about all this. So it's been really good to talk to you, Seth and Natalie.
Yeah, this is great. Well, we should do this again sometime soon.
Definitely. I want to pick your brains.
We still have to talk about the new water show.
Yes.
And the parade and Despicable Me.
I actually want to pick your brains going back over and talk about when you worked at the parks early on, because we're very interested in it. Because the way we wanted to look at doing the podcast is we've kind of discussed it tonight. That everybody knows the history of Disney. But as far as Universal, and it does have history, as we've already said, it's not as much as Disney, but it is out there.
Yep.
And talking to Bill Kidd, the backstory of Islands of Invention stuff, and that's the route we want to go down, is bringing that history and letting people know that it's not, that there is more to it than what people
just
think
what they walk into and see today. Yeah.
It's a really good thing, because there's a whole industry based around Disney nostalgia and preserving the Disney archive. And Universal itself doesn't generally have the same kind of respect for its own past. So it's up to the fans to kind of preserve that information.
Oh, Disney definitely knows how to cash in on that nostalgia factor.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this has been great talking, and we need to do this again sometime soon. You just let me know.
So if you'd like to plug the book or anything else, Seth, go on right ahead. I was actually on your blog. Thank you for making that mobile formatted for me.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, please send your feedback to my blog. Yes, my book, Universal Orlando 2012, The Ultimate Guide to the Ultimate Theme Park Adventure from Intrepid Traveler. Also with my co-author, Kelly Monahan, we have After Disney, The Other Orlando, and our new SeaWorld and Busch Gardens guide. All three of them out, available through Amazon, intrepidtraveler.com, or just visit SethKubersky.com, SethKubersky.com, and you can order all the books through there. And follow me also on the Orlando Weekly.
Excellent, good to know. So get doing that, people. So, once again, Seth, thanks for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. And
my pleasure. We should do it again soon.
Definitely.
I'm glad you said that. We will hold you to that.
Just ask Jim Hill when he offered.
So we'll look forward to speaking with you again some more soon then.
Excellent. So, take care.
And you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Seth.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Very good, very good. And you are currently where?
I am currently outside of Men in Black. Just walked outside of the gift shop.
Cool. So, Hunter, one of the main purposes for calling you today as part of the show was that you were at the parks yesterday as well, weren't you? Yeah?
I was. Yesterday was the 8th.
It was, and it was the day the parade opened and the Cinematic Spectacular. Did you get to see both of them?
I did get to see both of them, but there was a bit of a monkey wrench thrown in.
Okay, go on.
Okay, basically what happened was we had some pretty heavy rain last night, about 6:30. The parade was supposed to start at 7:50.
That's late.
That was kind of rained out. So what happened was we actually got to see a special nighttime version of the parade.
Cool.
So everything's all lit up and everything, and I asked the team member, and they said, yeah, it's normally not. It's going to be running during the daytime, but it actually looks better at night. So
right.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
So what did you think of the Cinematic Spectacular then?
I liked it. It very much, how do I put this? I didn't go in with a lot of heavy expectations, so I enjoyed it.
Right.
But a lot of people are going in expecting something like World of Color. They're going to be pretty disappointed.
Right. I have heard the comparisons to World of Color are unjust.
Yeah. And it is unjust, but you kind of can't help it with the water screens and everything like that.
Now, you watched the videos that were online beforehand, didn't you?
I watched very little. I watched, like, the intro, and that was about it. I didn't watch it all the way through, so...
So having seen a little bit of it, now having seen it in person, do you think those videos do it justice, or do you think it's way better to see it in person?
It's definitely something you have to see in person. But I think, just like any attraction or anything like that, it's something you've got to see in person to fully, get a grasp on.
Were there a lot of people there when you were watching it?
There was a lot of people. I was actually right I was right in the San Francisco area, and it was right next to Richter's. There's a little dock there, and right next to the dock there's a stream, so we basically just stood up right on the dock and watched the whole show.
So what was the reaction of people once it had finished?
People were quite satisfied, from what I understand. The fireworks aren't on scale of something, like Wishes or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind, Universal's in a much more heavily populated area as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So, the parade is actually pretty short, honestly.
Where does it go?
The parade pretty much runs through New York and Hollywood. That's the parade route.
So it goes...
Through New York, and then I believe it turns up by... I saw it in New York, like, right out of the gate where it was at. But, I think it comes and ends up down by, like Mel's and that.
Right.
That area.
Yeah.
That's where it exits at.
All right. Did it seem popular?
It seemed to go over pretty well. I think some of the character choices were weird, Dora the Explorer and everything like that. But, very cool floats. The Despicable Me was easily the favorite of everybody, it seemed.
It does look pretty cool. Now...
Yeah.
Going on that, obviously, one of your little things you were hoping to do was to get to ride on Despicable Me. Now, knowing that the barriers have come down and looking like it might be doing soft openings, any luck there?
Soft openings, I didn't come expecting to do a soft opening, honestly. But I've talked to several team members. I talked to one in the morning, and they said they would possibly start doing them within the week.
Right.
Later on that evening, actually, the gift shop is open.
Yeah.
They opened it up for a short while. It's completely closed off now, but it was open up for a while. And, the president of the company and the whole creative department was just standing around outside the door.
Okay.
So, and then I've seen a couple people coming in and checking the attraction out and everything like that, making sure it's all put together. So that's pretty cool.
That sounds like they're getting ready to do soft openings.
And then I talked to I guess she was the manager of the gift shop, and she says, no, probably not for another month.
A month?
So, a month, yeah. Some people are saying it's not even going to open up until at least mid-June.
You would have thought with them taking the barriers down and the outside being done that the rest of it would be somewhere near finished now. You would expect the outside to be the last thing to be done.
Yeah, But the cool thing is, because it is an open queue, you can actually see inside of Gru's house and everything like that.
And how does that look?
They've actually got the queue videos and everything playing.
Right, we shall...
All right.
Thanks for joining us on, and nice to hear live from the parks, because we don't get to hear it very often. And,
absolutely.
Enjoy
it's a very slow past couple of days, honestly.
Cool. Are you going to check out the parade again tonight or not?
I think we might check it out again tonight, depending on what time we leave.
It will be interesting to see if they run it during the day with you having seen it sort of at night.
Yeah, and then also with the Cinematic Spectacular, it can be viewed anywhere along the lagoon. So if we stay for that as well, just pick a new vantage point and check it out there.
Oh, that's good.
So, that's what's going on.
Very cool. Right, we shall let you get on with the rest of your day and have fun.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, man.
See you, Hunter.
All right.
Right, that'll do it and conclude episode 30 of the longest-running Universal Orlando podcast ever.
Yay! So
How excited do we sound, by the way?
Thanks everyone for joining us this time. Sorry that Hunter unfortunately
disappeared. Yeah, I was hoping he'd be back by now, but he's having a thunderstorm, so...
he's not, the area is.
Yes, sorry, he's he might be.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we hope that you've enjoyed what we brought to you this episode.
So that's the end of episode 30. Our next show will be out on the 25th of May, and due to the rescheduling, we will have Walk the Walk on that date.
What, Darren? Your Hunter impression's amazing.
They're getting so much better.
Thanks. I've been working on it a lot.
The Tracy one before wasn't bad. He did like a little one, but that was perfect.
Thanks.
You can say bye now, Hunter.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not even going to grace you with a sign-off.
We managed to get him back for literally the last
typical.
2 seconds.
But at least you got back. That's the main thing.
This is true.
Yeah.
Back in the saddle, baby.
I'm going to say good night, goodbye. I am going to bed, people.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Yep. Cheers, everyone, and see you later.
Good night, Internet, and remember, live the adventure.
I'm not dead.
Cut. Print. That's a wrap for another episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review while you're there. Not an Apple user? You can listen on Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or your podcatcher of choice. Email us any questions or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. Keep up with the latest news, rumors, and updates on our blog at uuopodcast.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week.